Well, welcome again. Really happy to be here in person. Again, my name is Dwight Liesel. I'm the site project manager for the Port of Portland. And before we get into this presentation, I'd like to introduce a new member to our Willamette Cove team. Allison, and I'll let you introduce yourself.
Right. Hi everyone. My name is Allison Clements. I'm the new environmental remediation advisor. I have a background in environmental science and public policy, and I've been working on various Portland Harbor sites for almost 10 years. And I've collected tens of thousands of samples all up and down the river, so I feel pretty familiar with the sediment. And then as the environmental remediation advisor, I'm going to work to oversee and help plan the remedial design. And we're also in the midst of hiring a senior park planner to help kick off the master park planning and work with the tribes and work with the community to help shape the future of the upland portion of Willamette Cove. And then also here with me today are some other team members. We have Paul Simon, who's our project sponsor. We have Katie McDonald, who is our tribal liaison, and Humberto Marquez Mendez, our community involvement specialist. And then some of you may have worked with Katie Weil in the past as a site manager, and she'll still be involved with the project and be our natural resource scientist. So again, just really excited to be here, work with you all, and get into the remedial design.
Great. So this will be an update on the Willamette Cove Upland. What we're going to cover is a project overview. We're going to talk about the upland remedial design activities that we have conducted to date. We're going to get into the remedial design investigations that we, or the sampling that we just completed this last summer and fall. Those field activities, I'm excited to share some of that information with you. It was really a pretty tremendous effort, a lot of work. We're going to talk briefly about the preliminary results from that sampling. And then finally, we'll talk about the future work that's ahead of us. So here's our project area overview. This might not be the greatest figure, but previously you've heard about the in-water project. So this is going to talk about our project is the Upland. So it's basically three parcels, the west, central, and east parcel. These two projects are different, so it's important to understand the distinction that there's two projects here, the upland and the in-water. What we do in remedial design for either of those projects has a significant impact on the other project. So they're integrally related. We, as performing parties, have developed some regular coordination meetings to make sure that as we go through these remedial designs for both of these projects, we're talking to each other, and there's this collaboration so that the final remedial designs are seamless and work together when they're implemented. Again, this upland area is about 18 acres. It's from the top of Bank landward to the Union Pacific Railroad to the north, Richmond Avenue to the west, and the Burlington Northern Railroad to the east. Some of you may have seen this schematic before with the previous updates, but the top of Bank really is the distinction for these two projects. Again, the upland would be from top of Bank landward. Its performing parties are Metro and Port of Portland. This work is overseen by DEQ. So the in-water project again would be from the top of Bank towards the water, and it would include the riverbank, the beach and the river setting. And so the performing parties for that project are the city of Portland, state of Oregon, Port of Portland, and that work is overseen by the EPA. So here we're showing the overall upland remedial design process, and you'll see that this is very consistent with what you saw for the in-water process. Many of the deliverables or the steps in the process are the same. In fact, we have a schedule objective of completing both the upland remedial design at about the same time as the in-water remedial design is completed. And it's important that that occurs because we want to be able to implement these two remedies at about the same time to take advantage of those benefits for doing the projects all at once. So as you can see here, the record of decision was issued for the upland in March of 2021. Since that time, we've completed a remedial design investigation work plan, a lot of collaboration with DEQ to get to that point. We again implemented that sampling or RDI this last summer and fall, and we're currently completing that remedial design data evaluation report. So why did we do this sampling? We have a lot of data already existing for the upland. But what we didn't have was data for contamination at depth or subsurface, below the surface. So what we needed to do here was fill some of those data gaps, delineate the extent of contamination both vertically and at depth. Again, you had a lot of data, and one of my colleagues described this process as kind of creating a paint by numbers picture. We had a lot of the colors filled in, but there were still a lot of holes and a lot of definition was left. So we needed to do the sampling to kind of fill in those gaps and get a complete picture of the site so that we could complete this remedial design. So what did we sample? We sampled the upland soil. There was also a lot of areas underneath asphalt caps or concrete pads that we had to sample to understand what soil was below those pads. And we sampled in 1 foot intervals down to a depth of 3 feet. We used best management practices, standard approaches. Again, we had a work plan that was the result of a lot of collaboration with DEQ in getting to an approved plan. So we're going to get into this remedial design investigation in a lot more depth. There's a lot to be said here. Just some dates. We submitted the work plan in February. We had approval to move forward in July of 2022. Again, we commenced field work in July 18th and completed it December 1st. So it's a total of 20 weeks. A lot of effort, a tremendous amount of effort to get all of this sampling done. This figure shows how we approached that. We divided the site up into 44 decision units, all each of them about a ½ acre in size. This particular figure shows those 44 decision units with overlays on the shaded areas show the removal actions that we had completed in 2015, 2016, where we focused on removing areas of contamination that had the highest concentrations for this site. And you'll see later in our presentation how that work actually paid off in the kind of contamination we saw. So we understood that, you know, this removal action in 2016 was, again, focused just on the highest levels of contamination. The site still has a lot of contamination. That's why the site is closed, and you'll see that later. So how did we go about doing this? We used a sampling technology called incremental sampling methodology. We agreed with DEQ that this was the best technology to go about characterizing the entire site soil down to this 3-foot level. It's a pretty common practice now used at many other sites. And what it involved for us was each of these 44 decision units, we took 30 incremental samples per decision unit and for each 1-foot depth interval. So those 30 soil samples were combined into one sample. It was a little bit different for the soil underneath these concrete pads. We used 5-point composites for that. We also had some decision units where we not only did that first set of samples, we did replica samples. So all in all, there was well over 5,000 soil samples taken for the site. This mini excavator was really our workhorse, clearing vegetation to get to the sample location. We used an electric drill and a bucket type sampler. We felt that this was the best way of collecting those samples. If you were again at the environmental field day, you probably saw us demonstrating this. And this figure here shows just how comprehensive the sampling was. This is just the decision unit in the northeast corner of the site. There's a lot of sampling going on. So again, these incremental samples were combined into 1-gallon jars, 1 jar per interval per decision unit. So there was a tremendous amount of record keeping, a tremendous amount of work. And, you know, kudos to our sampling team. They worked some pretty hot days. They put up with rain at times. We ran into wasps. We ran into poison oak. You know, a lot of blackberry. I think we completed the sampling with maybe 1 minor ankle sprain, a couple of wasp stings, but all in all, it was a pretty successful effort. So again, I wanted to thank our Apex team for this effort. I'm quite proud of what they had accomplished. Also like to note that this work allowed us to hire 3 local science students. We provided them with the hazardous waste training that they needed to get certified as hazardous waste handlers. This kind of completed their experience that they needed to go on to various other careers as environmental consultant firms. I know for a fact that one of them did, so we were happy to provide that kind of experience to let their careers develop. So quickly, I think we're running out of time, but I'm going to give you just a sneak peek of some of the preliminary results. This particular figure shows, again, these 44 decision units. Red would indicate, you know, these high concentration levels that we would have had prior to the 2016 effort. We didn't see any of those, anything that exceeded a human health level. But this particular figure just shows one contaminant, dioxin-furan, which is one of our primary risk drivers at the site. And this is for the 0 to 1 foot incremental sampling. And yellow indicates anything that exceeds the human health preliminary remediation goal. So you see a lot of the site still is yellow. I mean, we're still seeing contaminants at the site. This soil likely will have to be removed from the site as part of our remedial design. There are areas that are white where we don't exceed any screening levels. And so here's the next figure that shows the 1 to 2. It's the same contaminant, same level of, or same, it's the 1 to 2 foot depth interval, same contaminant, same human health exceedances. And you can see here, even the 2 foot level, there's still a lot of yellow, but less so. And then finally, here's the 3 foot depth interval. Still seeing some areas of the site that would need to be excavated to 3 feet, but more white. So that's encouraging. We will be repeating these kind of figures for each of the contaminants, and that's what will go into our data evaluation report that will feed into our remedial design. So I think this is my last slide. Again, we're finishing up this data evaluation report. We hope to have it submitted to DEQ later this month. If you're interested in this report, it will be available on the DEQ Willamette Cove website. Once that report is completed, we'll move on to the next deliverables, which is the basis design, remedial design work plan, and then we get into the design document. In closing, I hope this presentation gave you an impression of how complete and comprehensive the sampling effort was, so that when we do get into cleanup and complete cleanup, you'll have confidence that the site is safe, it's clean, it will be good for the plants and animals that will live at the site and for the people that will be enjoying the site. Thank you.